25 Cromwell Street, Gloucester. A small, narrow, three-story 1850s English Victorian red brick terraced house at the corner of a quiet residential side street in the center of Gloucester. In the late summer of 1986, a 16-year-old English schoolgirl named Haley Ward sits on a wooden bench in the playground of Cleeve Comprehensive School in Bishop's Cleeve, outside Cheltenham. Beside her on the bench sits her closest school friend. Haley turns to her friend in a perfectly calm and even voice and says, "If I ever disappear, just remember I am under the patio." The friend laughs. Haley does not laugh back. The friend assumes Haley is making a strange joke about her difficult home life at the small Victorian terraced house at 25 Cromwell Street. 8 months later, on the morning of Friday, 19th June 1987, Haley Ward does not come home from her summer holiday bakery job in Cheltenham. Her mother, Rosemary Ward, tells the Cleeve Comprehensive School office that Haley has run away with a lesbian girlfriend. Her father, Frederick Ward, tells the Gloucester neighbours the same story. The other 6 Ward children inside 25 Cromwell Street know this is not true. They have all watched their father pour fresh concrete over the small flagstone patio in the back garden the day after Haley vanished. They have all heard their mother tell them never to speak Haley's name again. The years pass in silence. In the late autumn of 1992, the youngest Ward daughter, May Ward, then 12 years old, confides to a Cleeve Comprehensive School friend that Daddy always says Haley is under the patio. The school friend tells her own mother. The mother telephones Gloucestershire Social Services on a Monday morning in November 1992. A first internal Gloucestershire constabulary file is opened the next day under the codename Operation Patio. The eldest surviving Ward daughter, Annie Marie Ward, gives a long voluntary disclosure interview to a Gloucestershire Social Services worker on a damp February afternoon in 1994. She names her younger sister Haley as a murder victim. She names her own parents, Frederick Ward and Rosemary Ward, as the killers. She tells the social worker exactly where to look in the back garden of 25 Cromwell Street. The interview transcript reaches a 46-year-old Gloucestershire constabulary detective constable named Hazel Sayer. Hazel Sayer applies for a search warrant. A Gloucester magistrate signs it on Thursday, 24th February, 1994. The following morning, 12 uniformed Gloucestershire constabulary officers arrive at 25 Cromwell Street with a small, yellow JCB 3CX excavator on a flatbed lorry. Frederick Ward, 52 years old, opens the wooden front door in a clean white open-neck work shirt and answers calmly that you will not find anything. Within 4 hours, the JCB digs up the back garden patio. The forensic archaeology team finds the remains of Haley Ann Ward in a small, shallow grave directly beneath the spot her school friend remembered her describing 6 years earlier. The school friend will give evidence at Rosemary Ward's 1995 trial, saying simply that Haley told me where to look. Frederick Walter Stephen Warden is born in the small, rural Herefordshire village of Much Marcle on Tuesday, 29 September 1942. His father, Walter Ward, is a poor tenant farm laborer. His mother is an obese, illiterate Herefordshire farm cottage homemaker raising 7 children. The Ward farmhouse is a single, small, cold, one-story 1880s English rural agricultural laborer's cottage at the edge of an open Much Marcle field. Frederick Ward leaves the village school at the age of 15, barely able to read. He goes to work as a laborer on the small traveling Herefordshire fairgrounds that move between Hereford, Worcester, and Gloucester. On Saturday, 29th November 1958, age 17, Frederick Ward crashes his motorcycle into a stone wall outside the village of Much Marcle. He suffers a fractured skull and lies in a coma for 8 days at Hereford General Hospital. When he wakes, the family doctor records in his clinical notes that the young man's personality has altered. 3 years later, in 1962, Frederick Ward meets a young Scottish prostitute named Rita Cassidy in a Ledbury pub. They marry at Ledbury Register Office on Saturday, 17th November 1962. Rita brings into the marriage a small, mixed-race Scottish toddler daughter from a previous relationship named Charlotte Cassidy. The young Ward family moves from Muchmarcle to a cold rented flat above a fish and chip shop in central Glasgow in early 1963. Rita and Frederick have one daughter together, Annie Marie Ward, born Glasgow, 1964. By the end of the summer of 1971, both Rita and the 8-year-old Charlotte have quietly disappeared from Glasgow. Frederick tells the neighbors and the Glasgow social workers that Rita has left him for a Bristol lorry driver and taken Charlotte with her. 23 years later, in 1994, the remains of Rita Cassidy Ward will be found buried in a quiet, open Muchmarcle field. The remains of 8-year-old Charlotte Cassidy will be found in the back of a small, rented Gloucester garden. Frederick Ward is now 29 years old and has already killed twice. In November 1969, Frederick Ward meets a 15-year-old Bishop's Cleeve girl named Rosemary Pauline Latham at a small concrete bus stop in central Cheltenham. Her father, Brian Latham, is a violent retired British Army soldier living on a small Bishop's Cleeve council estate. Her mother, Daisy Latham, is a withdrawn rural Cheltenham housewife who has tried twice to take her own life. Rosemary Latham moves into Frederick Ward's cold rented Gloucester flat at the age of 15. They marry at Gloucester Register Office on Saturday, 29 January 1972. In August 1972, the couple use a small inheritance from a Muchmarcle relative to put down a deposit on the small, narrow 3-story 1850s Victorian terraced house at the corner of 25 Cromwell Street Gloucester. The previous owner, a retired Polish railway worker, leaves them the key on the wooden front doormat. Frederick Ward immediately begins converting the small flagstone basement cellar into what he will privately refer to in his own handwriting as Rose's room. He installs heavy metal eye bolts in the 4 walls of the basement. He installs a single small steel chain looped through a heavy iron ring set into the basement floor. He installs a single small bare ceiling bulb above the chain. Frederick Ward earns a small living as a self-employed Gloucester general trades odd job builder. Rosemary Ward earns a small living from a back bedroom on the first floor of 25 Cromwell Street as a working prostitute serving a small clientele of local Gloucester lorry drivers. Frederick Ward fits a single small one-way porthole spy hole into the bedroom door so he can watch his wife working. 3 small Ward children sleep in the bedroom directly above hers. The atmosphere inside 25 Cromwell Street is now established. The joint Frederick and Rosemary Ward killing spree begins in April 1973. Their first victim together is a 21-year-old Gloucester seamstress and former 25 Cromwell Street lodger named Lily Gibbs. She is invited back to the house one Saturday afternoon to look at a job vacancy as a Ward family nanny. Her small remains are buried beneath the basement coal cellar floor. Their second victim is a 15-year-old Worcester schoolgirl named Carol Carter. Carol Carter is abducted from a bus stop near Worcester Cathedral on the cold evening of Saturday, 10th of November 1973. Her small remains are buried under the same Gloucester basement coal cellar floor as Lily Gibbs. Their third victim is a 21-year-old Cambridge University undergraduate named Lucy Pemberton. Lucy Pemberton is reading English at Newnham College, Cambridge, and is the niece of a noted English literary family. She is abducted from a Cheltenham bus stop on the freezing, snowy evening of Thursday, 27 December 1973, while waiting for the last bus home to her family at Gretton. Her small remains are buried beside Carol Carter in the same Gloucester basement coal cellar. Their fourth victim is a 21-year-old Swiss postgraduate exchange student named Tara Siegert. Tara Siegert is hitchhiking from London to a friend's flat in Holyhead on Saturday, 15th April 1974, when she is picked up by Frederick Ward in his small white commercial works van on the A40 road outside Cheltenham. Her small remains become the fourth set buried in the same Gloucester basement coal cellar. Their fifth victim is a 15-year-old runaway from a Droitwich children's home named Shirley Hughes. Her small remains are buried in the same basement. Their sixth victim is an 18-year-old young Gloucester woman named Janet Marlowe. Janet Marlowe is hitchhiking home from a Saturday night Gloucester dance hall on Saturday, 12th April 1975. Her small remains become the sixth set buried in the same Gloucester basement coal cellar. By the end of 1970, the Ward basement contains 6 dismembered remains. Frederick Ward concretes over the basement floor and converts the basement into a new playroom for the surviving Ward children. Their seventh victim is an 18-year-old pregnant lodger at 25 Cromwell Street named Shirley Roberts. Shirley Roberts is carrying Frederick Ward's child and has told Rosemary Ward she expects Frederick to leave Rosemary and live with her and the new baby. 3 days later, her small remains are buried under the recently laid back garden patio of 25 Cromwell Street. Their eighth victim is a 16-year-old runaway from a Welsh children's home named Alison Chase. Alison Chase is picked up by Frederick Ward on the M50 motorway outside Ross-on-Wye on Tuesday, the 4th of September, 1979. Her small remains are buried beside Shirley Roberts under the same back garden patio. Between 1979 and 1987, the killings stopped for 8 years. The Ward family grows. Rosemary Ward bears 6 children with Frederick. The eldest surviving Ward child, Annie Marie Ward, is sexually abused by her father from the age of 8 onwards. She tells a Gloucester primary school nurse at age 9. The school nurse files a written report with Gloucestershire Social Services. The Gloucestershire Social Services file is closed within 14 days. Annie Marie Ward runs away from home permanently at age 15 in May 1981 and refuses ever to return to 25 Cromwell Street. The next eldest Ward daughter, 16-year-old Haley Ward, is the most outspoken of the surviving Ward children. She tells her closest school friend at Cleeve Comprehensive in October 1986 that her father has begun making sexual advances toward her. She tells her parents at the Saturday dinner table that she will report her father to the Cleeve Comprehensive School nurse on the first day of the summer holidays. She tells her parents she has saved up the bus fare to leave Gloucester forever. On the morning of Friday, 19th June 1987, she does not come home from her summer holiday bakery job in Cheltenham. Her parents have buried her small remains under the small flagstone back garden patio of 25 Cromwell Street. They concrete over the small flagstones the same evening. The Ward family's 12th and final known victim has been killed in her own back garden by her own father and her own mother. The years pass. In the late autumn of 1992, the youngest surviving Ward daughter, 12-year-old May Ward, confides to a Cleeve Comprehensive School friend in the school playground that Daddy always says Haley is under the patio. The friend tells her own mother that evening at the family kitchen table. The mother telephones Gloucestershire Social Services on the following Monday morning. A Gloucester social worker visits 25 Cromwell Street the following Wednesday afternoon. Frederick Ward laughs at her on the wooden front doorstep. The Gloucestershire Social Services file is closed within 9 days. A second concerned anonymous telephone call from a different Bishop's Cleeve mother reopens the Gloucester file in October 1993. This second file reaches the desk of 46-year-old Gloucestershire Constabulary Detective Constable Hazel Sayer. Hazel Sayer traces and contacts the now 28-year-old Annie Marie Ward, who is living in a council flat in Northampton. Annie Marie Ward agrees to give Hazel Sayer a long, voluntary disclosure interview on a damp February afternoon in 1994. She names her younger sister Haley Ward as the killed victim. She names her own parents as the killers. She tells Hazel Sayer exactly where to look in the back garden. Hazel Sayer believes the eldest ward daughter on the spot. A Gloucester magistrate signs the search warrant on Thursday, 24th February 1994. At 8 minutes past 8 on the bright cold spring morning of Friday, 25th February 1994, 12 uniformed Gloucestershire constabulary officers arrive at the wooden front door of 25 Cromwell Street. Behind them on a flatbed lorry sits a small yellow JCB 3CX excavator. Frederick Ward, age 52, opens the wooden front door in a clean, white, open-necked work shirt and listens to the warrant being read aloud. He smiles and answers calmly that the officers will not find anything in his small back garden. The JCB rolls down the small side alley and starts on the back garden patio at 12 minutes past 9 that morning. Within 4 hours, the forensic archaeology team identifies the small grave of Haley Ann Ward, sitting exactly under the spot her school friend remembered her describing in 1980s. Within 6 hours, the team identifies a second small grave beside her containing the remains of Shirley Roberts and her unborn child. Within 10 hours, the team identifies a third small grave containing the remains of Allison Chase. By Sunday afternoon, 9 more small graves have been identified beneath the basement concrete floor. Frederick Ward and Rosemary Ward are both arrested at 25 Cromwell Street on Friday, 25th February 1994, by Hazel Sayer and charged with the murder of their own daughter. Frederick Ward gives 145 hours of taped formal interview with Hazel Sayer over the following 6 months. He confesses verbally to 30 separate murders. He is charged in writing with 12 confirmed murders only. He is held on remand at HM Prison Winson Green in Birmingham, awaiting trial throughout the autumn of 1994. On New Year's Day 1990, at 12 minutes past 1 in the afternoon, Frederick Ward hangs himself with a strip of torn prison bedsheet from a metal bar above the door of his small Winson Green prison cell and never stands trial. Rosemary Ward stands trial alone at Winchester Crown Court from October 1995. She is convicted of 10 of the 12 murders, including the murder of her own daughter Haley. The presiding judge, the Right Honorable Mr. Justice Mantell, sentences her to 10 concurrent life imprisonment terms with a whole life tariff. The school friend who heard Haley's 1986 playground prediction gives the most quietly devastating evidence of the entire trial. She says in a single sentence that Haley told me where to look. The presiding judge orders a 5-second silence in the courtroom before the next question is asked. Frederick Ward had killed for 31 years. 12 confirmed victims had been buried within 15 feet of the surviving Ward children's bedrooms for 21 of those years. Gloucestershire Social Services had visited 25 Cromwell Street 31 separate times between 1972 and 92 and closed the file on every one of those visits. The Ward children had told their school nurses, their school friends, their social workers, and a Gloucester uniformed police officer. None of them had been believed for 21 years. Until a Gloucestershire constabulary detective constable named Hazel Sayer finally sat down on a damp February afternoon in 1994 and listened to the eldest surviving Ward daughter from the very beginning.